Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to do movement in a different way from the way we've learned. We learned how to make our platforms move by using collision events with invisible objects. While that's handy to know, now I'm going to show you how to use paths to create movement of one of your enemies. So up here I have my forest monster. I have a right sprite and a left sprite. He's the monster I'm going to use on my forest level. So the first thing I need to do is decide where I want him to move. You see, I've got him as an object here. I only need one object, even though I have two sprites, because these are the left-facing and right-facing sprites for this one object. So let's look at the room I'm going to put him in. So I have this level that has a bunch of leaves and branches that I'm jumping on, and I want this monster walking back and forth right here, kind of blocking the way to jump up to this level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where I want him to start. If you look down here at the bottom, this gives you the X and Y coordinates for any point on the screen. So I want him to start right here, and you notice that my X and Y coordinates are 320 and 400. I'm going to write that down. Okay, I want him to walk to maybe about here. So the coordinates for this are 560 and 400. Now, it is very important that my second number is the same, and I'll show you why in a little bit. We want him walking in a straight line so that he's walking exactly straight with no angle. So if our Y number is the same for both of our points on our path, then that'll happen. So now that I've written down my points, I'm going to close my room, and then I'm going to go to right up here at the top, this little squiggly line is the Create a Path button. Now, what this does is it gives me a blank area that's basically where I'm going to draw my path. I still have my X and Y numbers down here, so I'm going to go to 320, 400. There's 320 and there's 400, and click it once. Then I'm going to come over here to 560 and click again. I'm going to name my path Forest Monster or Forest Enemy or whatever you need to name it, _path. And then I'm just going to click OK. I'm not going to change any of the variables. So now I'm going to go to my Forest Monster, and I'm going to say when you're created. So add event, create. When you're created, I want you to start moving on a path. So I'm under my Move tab, and this very first button under Paths is Set Path. So I want it to apply to myself because I'm in the Forest Monster object. And the path I want to use is Forest Monster Path. I'm going to give him a speed of 2. And at the end of the path, I want him to turn around and come back the other way. So I'm going to hit reverse. And I want to keep relative on, and then I hit OK. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click OK to save the changes to my Forest Monster object. And I still need to put him in the room. So I kind of made the path where his feet are going to be. So I want to make sure I have him right about at that 320. I'm going to move up just a hair so his feet are at the 400 location. And I want to start him out using my right-facing sprite. So what I did is when I chose the sprite for the object, I made sure it was the right-facing one. Okay, so let's see what happens when we hit play. It'll take it a minute to save because our game is getting pretty big by this point. And there's my monster, and he is definitely moving to the right. But do you see the problem when he hits the end of the path and reverses? He is still facing to the right. The way we get our monster to turn around and face the other direction at the end of our path is by checking to see what direction he's moving. And we'll need to do that each frame of the game. So what you're going to do is you're going to add event, step, and make sure it's a plain step event, not a begin step or an end step. So in that step event, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Control, Test Variable. You're going to drag it over, and you're going to say if direction is smaller than 100, which 90 degrees is to the right, but if you're off even a pixel, it won't work right. So we're just going to say if it's less than 100, then we're going to change our sprite into our right-facing sprite. Or else, if it's over 100, which would mean he's moving to the left, we're going to change our sprite to the forest monster left. And else is located right here. Your sprite change is located under main 1. So once we put that in, if we hit play, when we start our game, in our create event, it tells our forest monster to start on the path to the right, which is roughly 90 degrees, but it's less than 100. When he hits the end of the path and reverses right here, he's going to be going roughly 180 degrees, which is greater than 100. So it's going to change his sprite to reflect that.